Highway Web Consulting. Um, I'm going to talk today about a problem that I see creeping in to web design, and that is this idea of codeless web design. So a lot of codeless web design editors, really famous ones you probably heard of, are things like Squarespace, and even to some extent WordPress. But the reality is, whenever you get into these codeless editors, is that you're either too limited to create something really nice, or it's too complex for the average user to use. I mean, you're a person who you probably have a business or you run an organization and there's not many people involved and there aren't a lot of hands to go around and maybe you don't have a lot of technical expertise or just the time and effort to learn HTML or CSS or JavaScript or any of the coding languages that we use for the web. And so web designers and developers have created tools for the average man, supposedly to be able to go out and just create a new website, get it online very quickly, and everything is hunky dory. And it is good up to a certain point until you want to make any changes or you want to move your site onto a new host, or there are a host of other problems that come with some of these these easy solutions. The hard solution is to just open up a document and start writing HTML and CSS and creating a website all your own, which takes a lot of time and effort to learn those things and to be able to do it well. So I'm going to show you one tool today, and this is a tool. Tools are meant to solve problems, and so this is a tool that I think is within the reach of most of the people, at least the clients that I've talked to, who have a little bit of knowledge of using a computer, using things like Word or Excel, and understanding basic drag and drop concepts or being able to edit things in a Word document. Now what this editor is, it's called the Mobirise, and you can find it at mobirise.com. And it's a free download, and what it does is it outputs mobile-friendly websites. There's no coding involved if you don't want to code the website, and it's all completely free for both personal and for commercial projects. So if you wanted to use the code to create a theme, if you're a web developer or maybe you're a development company and you want to do quick mock-ups of sites to show clients, or if you're just someone who wants a really trendy but relatively basic website that's um, more of a brochure website, not something that's going to be attached to some sort of special web app or nothing particularly complicated, but you want to put yourself out there, you want to put your company out there, your products or your services, and you want to do it in a really nice way. This is what I've seen is one of the best builders out there. So you can download it for free. You can see for Windows or for Mac. And I have a copy here already downloaded. Because you're downloading a program, that means it's on your computer. This is not a web application. This is actually a piece of software that you download to your computer or to your laptop. So you cannot edit it if you go online with your tablet or anything like that. So it has to be a computer application. So this is the main interface when you come to Mobirise. You see a few things there. You're on index.html, and index.html is the first page of any website. So for you to have a website online, you need to have index.html. If you have nothing else, you can still have a website just with that. It would only be one page. It would be your home page, but you would have one page full of HTML. And HTML is the language, the coding language that we use to build the structure of websites. So if you hover over this, you can see you can create new pages. So create or clone or rename pages. And you can also create new websites. So if you go in here, you can see that there's a create a new site. Or if you've created other sites in the past, which I've created some demo websites, and I'll show a couple of those to you when we're finished. So this is me learning the software. Let's just open up. We're on my site right now. You can change some of the site settings, like what's the name And if you have Google Analytics code in order to be able to track visitors to your website or track people making purchases or where they go or what they're clicking, then you can insert that here as well. So the basic interface is this. You have a desktop view, a tablet view, which shrinks the page down to the size of a tablet, about 800 pixels. And then you have a mobile view, which is a phone, which is probably around 320 pixels. That's a standard phone size, at least for an iPhone. Now what Mobirise does is it goes full width all the way across, which is a very trendy style of publishing websites. So at the end of this, you'll have a very modern looking website. This is not going to be a classic 10-year-old look to your website. It's going to be full of very modern elements. So it's going to go mostly full width, and each one is called a block. So you can add different blocks or sections to the website, and I'll show you what those are here. So you have a menu block. Let's just go ahead and start building the page. All I did was click on it and it added it. So every time you click on an element, it adds it to the bottom. If you want to put it in a specific place, then you can drag it over into the canvas area, which is here. And then you'll see as we add elements, you can drag things in between elements. So let's go ahead and put a header. So right now you have a nice full screen header. Let's say we want, let's make the header transparent. Let's go all the way, fully modern. You can see there's a little bit of styling already for the different elements. Let's go ahead and we'll take the logo off and we'll just have your name. Nice ultra cool kind of setup here. And then here you can see that there are buttons. Let's not have the buttons or the arrow, so we just take those off, and let's change the image. I'm just clicking on that. You click right here on this image and it pulls up a browser so that you can go and find images on your computer. So I'm going to go in, let's find a nice always like this image of New York, so it's nice. If you want to change an element, let's say you want to change the title here, all you do is click on it, highlight it, however you want to do, just like you would in Microsoft Word or any kind of text editor. And then you would do that. If you want to change the sizing, come in here like this, and you can change the size. It's that easy. This comes loaded with several Google fonts. Now, not all of the Google fonts are available here, although there's a way that you can add them if you have a little bit of coding skill. But you can use something kind of new and modern like a Montserrat, which is really beautiful type. And there you go. So you can change these things. You can add in any of your options for this particular block are available here. So that's where your options are. So let's keep moving down the page. Maybe now we want some sort of a call to action. Let's bring in one of these. You can see we'll just add it down here. And then after that, maybe we need a feature. So let's have a feature here. So this would be nice to pull out an image again. In order to change that, I just click on the image and I'll pull up a new image, place it in. Maybe I want to change the background to something a little more subtle. And then I can change the text to something a little darker. So now you can see the page beginning to come together. The header here is nice. It's a parallax image, which means the image stays fixed while all the stuff moves over top of it, which is a nice effect. You can turn that on or off. You would have a call to action button right here, and then you have a nice little a feature. To change the button color, again, super easy. You would just do that. Now it's green. And if you wanted to change the size, you would just make that a little bigger. Um, let's move down the page a little bit. I'll show you some of the article elements. So if you wanted to have this kind of as more of a page, like an internal page that just has a heading or headings and some paragraphs, you would just click on here and it adds a nice little heading. Now I'm clicking on the paragraph a couple times, and then now here's a nice little call to action section with some buttons. And we'll keep moving on. Maybe you need some testimonials. You can see testimonial section here. All you have to do to change that is to highlight it and then add in the testimonial. You can choose up to 21 testimonials, so they're all in groups of 3 or 4 going across the page. And they include some sharing options. So if you want to have the user be able to share the page easily on Facebook or Twitter or Google Plus, have those here. And when the person clicks that, then they would be able to go share it to their Google Plus page. You can turn those links on and off. You can see here. You can also turn the counters on and off. There's also a way to follow you. So if you have social media accounts, they can follow you here. To get rid of one, say you're not on GitHub or Behance, it's easy to take those off. And let's add a map down here. It's one of the cool features. They have a full width map, which you've seen this, a very modern style of adding a map to maybe a contact page or on the front page. It's fully functioning. It's a Google map. And to change the parameters of where you want to go, you just type in your address or wherever you want it to be. So I live in Chicago. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to find it. And then you can change the tooltip on there, or you can just have no tooltip, only a marker. So that's a nice little feature. They have a full width map, and they also have one that has some padding to it. So there's a couple of different styles. Easy to add a contact form as well. You would just input your email address here. So let's say not my personal email, but oh. So let's do that. And you can choose to show some of the fields. If you only want a phone number or an email, you can do that. You can change the background color of the entire form. You can change the background color of the button. If you only want a nice little a button that doesn't have any internal color to it, it's just an outline, you can do that very easily on these as well. So it's a nice, that's a more of a modern style too for the buttons. And then last, you can add a nice little footer down here. And so they have several styles that you can choose from. If you want to move elements, all you have to do is just grab it, you can see, and drop it. And now the elements have changed. Let's say you want to put the sharing element up a little bit farther, so you can put it between here. And then you can just basically move around those blocks and make changes as necessary. Now when you're ready to preview it, you can look in your browser and you can preview what you've just done, and it'll be live. The links will work based on what you have made them. And so you can see the fonts look a little bit better. They're rendered a little better. Still the Google map is available, and you would be able to see how the contact form works, see how everything works before you publish it. So this is Mobirise. Again, you can go to mobirise.com and provide several reasons to get it. It shows you several things that I just showed you here. It gives you a view of what's possible with some of the design elements, and it'll give you a chance to just try it out a little bit. Here is it's a one pager, so each of these links just goes down the page instead of going to um, a whole new page, which is very easy to do with this particular software. You can get it for Android, for Mac, or for Windows, and I encourage you to follow their work. They're continually adding to it. So they've just added HTML blocks where you can, if you're a developer or a coder, you can actually put in your own HTML blocks, or if you're using a third-party software, you'll be able to add those into your website as well. Now, when you're ready to publish, you would come here to publish. Now you can publish to either a local folder, that just means a folder on your desktop or somewhere on your computer. You can also publish to FTP, which means that you can publish directly to a server where you're going to host your website files. And you could also publish to Google Drive. I could see if you have a very small site, maybe you could test it that way and have people go there and it would host the files on your Google Drive. Probably not a permanent solution, but a way for you to back up your website or a way for you to transport your website in the cloud. So some pretty cool options to be able to deal with your website once you're finished. And then, like I said, once you are finished with your website, you published it, it's online. Then, if you want to make changes, all you'd have to do is open Mobirise again, come in, make the changes that you want to make, and then again to republish in whichever way you want. So if you publish and overwrite the local folders, then you use an FTP program, or if you do it straight through Mobirise, however you decide to do it, and you override those or overwrite those files, then it's going to be live online. So this is not only a builder, but it's an editor where you can add pages, you can add sections, and then you'd be able to override those files on your web server that's live that people could see. So it's a very handy tool, and you can see here, what is it going to look like whenever it's a mobile website. So you can see it's mobile responsive. All of the blocks are going to look exactly like they should. You're not going to be able to mess those up, and so it's going to give you a really nice presence all the way from desktop all the way down to a phone. I'll have you take a look at a couple of the projects that I've done. So let's open this up and we'll preview it. This is a one-page type of situation where when each of these links is going to go to a different part. So you can see it scrolls down nicely. There's maybe a company with a couple of products that they use. Here's our mission and our values. A nice little, these are our company values. And you come down and you can read a little bit about the history. So more of an article style. And then there's a contact form. You can see that the background is a parallax scrolling. So that's a nice little addition too. And then you have the bottom with the live map, and then some links and some contact information. This is all just editable. You can make it all links, you can make it all text, you have quite a bit of leeway there. You click on the the link. I haven't quite fixed that, but normally you would be able to go all the way back up to the top of the website. And let's see, let's get another website in here. This is e-commerce. So I took my hand at maybe what would it look like if you tried to do an e-commerce website. So let's check that out in the browser too. This would be a men's clothing store. You can see a nice full width, very modern style with a register and a sign in button. And then you would come down and you can see some of the elements look a little bit different, but they're all just basically, this is the 3 across with a picture, a title, and a little call to action. Here is a nice image gallery that you can include. Changing images is simple in this program. All you do is click on the image, and then it'll take you to the Explorer browser where you can choose images off of your computer. It's a nice little feature section with a call to action. And there's a couple different, you can subscribe to a newsletter, another section, subscribe to our social media channels, another section, and then here. So if you go to, this will be a whole new page called Pants, and then again another nice little header. And then here you would just have your listings of the different styles of pants, and then you would have a nice little call to action to buy. And for each of these, it's going to be the same thing. They have a similar setup and a similar style. One of the great things about Mobirise is it allows you to copy and clone pages. So then all you have to do is go through and you change the media in the pages, as opposed to having to recreate pages over and over and over. You just clone them or copy them, and you can create product pages like that. So here we have an example of what's called an anchor link. So these don't go to a new page, they go to a new part of the website. So maybe someone wants to, they're more interested in getting right to the summer blowout instead of going all the way down the page. Then click on here and it takes you right down to that section. So some pretty cool things that are going on in this website. It's one of the best code-free editors that I've ever seen in terms of being able to create very modern blocks of code and modern blocks of web design. And what happens is at the end, you don't have to pay anything for your website. You are able to design it. Many of the design decisions are already built into it for you, which is a problem with many code-free editors, is that they're easy to use, but if you don't have any design sense, they're very difficult to make the finished product look quite as polished as what the company has made. But that's not the case here. You can see I haven't done anything amazing or codey or anything else. It's just adding blocks, deciding, what kind of content do I have, adding blocks, adding photos, and then you just link it all up with the with each of the buttons or the links. It's just a matter of clicking on link and then deciding, which page should it go to, and then if you want it to go to a particular part of the page, then you can add that as well, or if you want to open a new window. So this is a really great text editor, something you can take, put on online, make your site live, and then point your URL to it, and people will be wowed, I think, by what you can do, and probably very impressed by what you can do with Mobirise. I'm going to be doing another video talking about an easy theme to use for WordPress. So if your organization is a little bigger, you want to produce more content, and you don't want to have to come back and keep doing page after page after page like this, and maybe your website content's going to change, or you want to blog, that's going to be more difficult to do with Mobirise. But I will show you with WordPress. There's a beautiful theme called Make, and they have a premium version called Make Plus, which is well worth it. And I will show you how I have taught other people how to use a very easy theme, but it's very powerful and builds a very beautiful and a modern website. And all this is leading up to a course which is going to take you all the way through the full web design process. So beginning with an idea, ending with a finished website, and learning how to maintain the website. I'll teach you all about hosting and domain names, and it'll all be in one package. But this is the beginning if you want to go out and begin to look at Mobirise and you think it might be a product that looks like something that's good for you. So this is me signing off, and thanks for hanging around and listening. And stick around, come back, and I'll get you to the next video dealing with WordPress. Thanks.